It's Friday, Feedback Friday, the feedbackiest day of the week. Huh, I have to stop bouncing while I'm singing that song because I haven't got the camera to not bouncy, 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 bouncy. Yeah, everything starts bouncing when I bounce. It is Feedback Friday. I finally got a haircut for the first time in 8 months. I don't look, at least with the coif, like an emo teenager anymore. Make of that what you will. But tomorrow is the reason I did the do. The reason is the first date in the War on Stupid tour is tomorrow in London, Ontario. Oh, I need the thing up. Just fade to it. There we go. Here we are. See Ontario tour dates, February 16th. Now, someone asked in the comments this week on a YouTube video about the Tillsonburg show. You notice there's no date anymore for it down here. That is because the venue double booked. Special. But the venue double booked. And so it is being rescheduled to the spring. That's what I've been told. So if you have tickets for that show, they will be honored just in the spring. And that's not a bad thing because the weather's going to be better. Let's go to London in February. What could possibly go wrong? This week, we had some weather here, especially Tuesday. There was snow, there was rain, there was ice, then a bit more snow, then a bit more ice and some rain and then some snow. It just kept changing. And so you'll notice that the free speech video that I promised this week was not up. That was because a whole bunch of stuff got moved around and I didn't have a study day for that, because I've had to prep for this tour and then get a ton of things fixed. Like, I was looking kind of rough. And you guys understand that, but people in live shows you remember from TV days, they're not as kind as you guys are. So, yeah. But the other thing was, when I did get into the research of it, I've become fascinated at the debate surrounding the various conferences that came to create the Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Constitution, and the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution that, the First Amendment is a part of. And it's fascinating, the background, the reasons for it, and the debate around it and everything like that. I think that's extremely important to understanding the U.S. First Amendment. And so I'm making sure I have it right because, I did my American history and I thought I knew this stuff, but man, there's a lot more to it than I thought. And I want to make sure everything's accurate. I want to make sure the interpretations are sound. So it's just taking longer. And I figure you guys want, good instead of fast. The backers, the Kickstarter backers and the patrons also got the backers only episode of Lady Bits. And there's been some discussion surrounding that. And this is kind of a nice thing to have people hear, that this is too good. This shouldn't be backers only. So I've taken that feedback. We've been talking about it. I'm trying to figure out whether to put it up on the Google Play, the streaming service, or iTunes or something like that, and have the series available to purchase. And if you purchase the whole series, you get the bonus episodes. So people other than, Kickstarter, Patreon can get it. If you want to see it, become a patron. I'll do the information at the end of this video. But yeah, it's a nice thing to hear, because I've supported some things and the backer only stuff does tend to seem like an add-on, so the fact that some backers said that they thought it was one of the best episodes of the series really surprised me in a good way. That made me very happy. That's a good thing to know going forward. They also were like, this really challenged me. This really frustrated me. Because one of the things we talked about were the idea of social languages. So, when people say they're frustrated in a good way, I'm doing my job, which converting to the live tour and kind of doing a similar thing in a different format. That's going to be interesting. I'm very nervous about it, but kind of looking forward to it as well. I haven't done live comedy in a really long time, so this should be interesting. It's kind of, people are like, what's the show going to be about? It's like, Ed and Red's Night Party was always heavily improvised. So people think I'm BSing when I say I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know what's going to happen. I'm an improv comic. I don't prepare sets. I show up and Ed does his thing and I follow along and it's all on the fly. So that should be interesting. I do want to start with the feedback for the week, although this was feedback for the week. The reason I mentioned the Tilsonburg show being rescheduled is because somebody asked about it in a comment. But the first thing I want to make sure I get this, because a couple people got really on me about Gibraltar from Apex Legends being Pacific Islander, not Black. And I realized, because at first I'm like, why are people getting so upset about this? And then I realized this is the difference between Canadian Black communities that are, up until fairly recently, predominantly West Indian, and American Black communities who consider themselves, American first because, their ancestors were forcibly displaced. They do not consider themselves the immigrant experience. And I needed to have a moment of, right, this is different. I mean, yes, we make a distinction between, Polynesian people and Guyanese people and I don't know if Baitian's an all right term to say, but that's what people from Barbados, people from Trinidad, people from Jamaica, like obviously there's the distinctions, but we just sort of go black and brown as a catch-all. The whole point I was making is he's not white, but I forgot that this is a much more important distinction in America, and that Black is not the same catch-all. And I did not know he was Pacific Islander. I did not look that much into the character. I have not played the game. And one person that did play the game backed up something I said, in terms of, people fixating on gender and sexual orientation and all that stuff that is absolutely unimportant to the gameplay. One person who has played the game pointed out that Gibraltar being Pacific Islander is actually relevant because his victory dances are they said it was Samoan or Maori. And so I'm like, all right, yeah, proves my point that, certain things are more important than who someone sleeps with. Other people pointed out that characters like Pyro from, Team Fortress 2 and Ermac from my beloved Mortal Kombat, they were ahead of the game in terms of pronouns that are not he, she. Another person pointed out that Legion is a we. Ermac is a we. Pyro was not, I was thinking of the Hanar from Mass Effect, as well as the Asari, that this is, non-binary characters are not as new as this whole controversy is making it seem. They're new for, I guess, this kind of game, but that's because sexualities and well, I guess genders were declared, but there's always been characters in fighting games that are, all their stats are like question marks. Remember that when you got the little flash bios and it was like question mark because shrouded in mystery, right? So this is one of these things that, again, I guess because I'm an fighting game OG, original gamer, none of this stuff particularly impresses me, and I was happy to see in the comments people sort of agreeing with this is a non-issue. This is not the bulk of gamers either don't care or they think it's cool. People who were, these these shitlords on the internet and everything, oh, they're the people that are the problem. We need to drive them out of gaming. I had extended conversations with that type of player about how cool Bloodhound was from a gameplay mechanics perspective. They main Bloodhound, and they didn't main them because they are a them. They main them because they like the tracker mechanic and the way that Bloodhound's ravens jump to the next tracking point if a character like rage quits or something like that. That's a very cool mechanic. And it just goes to show that thing I've talked about before, that there is a different way that gamers approach games. We're not just better at games because we've played a lot more. We have a fundamentally different relationship with video games than casual players. And this is important to talk about. This is relevant because, I'm being reminded of it on the Twitch streams as well. I won't say what we said on Twitch because Twitch lets you get away with a little bit more. But let's just say we have a joke about the fact that I see the audience every Tuesday. I laughed a lot and we had fun with that. But Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Will people watch at work if I do another stream earlier in the day? When I used to do YouTube streams, it tended to be around 1 o'clock. And some people could watch at work. People in Australia, people from other parts of the world could watch then. 6 o'clock is a little late, little early for some people because obviously, 6 o'clock Eastern is only 3 p.m. Pacific. But then if you push till like 9, 10 at night, then it's too late for some other people. So there's no great time. I love having a geographically diverse audience, but I don't want to, I don't know what the word is. I don't want to privilege people in a certain time zone. So let me know if you can watch midday, because that means I can try to do some streams middle of the day as well for people in different time zones. That's my question. That's my feedback I'm looking for from you for the week. Going on, there was a lot of discussion about the Vic Mignogna situation. I knew there would be some, I stand with Vic types got really angry at me. That's to be expected. These things are emotional. I did get a lot of feedback though from people who were thankful for the nuance. They felt like, the video gave them some perspective and helped them square away how they feel about it. So that made me happy. I hate having to do videos like that. Those are really uncomfortable. I prefer to report on things. I don't like to be the story. I cannot shake that journalist feeling of, no, this is not about me. So I am so used to going, well, this side says this and this side says this, and people are like, you're sitting the fence. No, I'm freaking reporting, assholes. That's what you're supposed to do. I'll offer my opinion, but this was actually reporting my experience, and I am super hesitant to do that on situations like this, but it was helpful. So even though people got angry at me, it helps some people. It was worthwhile, right? The idea of being authentic and telling the truth, and you have to do it even when it's hard, and you have to do it even when it's going to be unpopular. And I did have some really interesting conversations on the the Mercedes Carrera side of that video. The difference between hand waving it away and withholding judgment. Some people accused me of having a bias. Saying I don't know is not a bias. It's saying because I was like, oh, I saw this with Vic and Mercedes, like, I have nothing to add. People accuse me of having a bias. I was like, well, I actually saw something in one instance. I saw nothing direct in the other. What do you want me to say? Just leave it there. Someone got really mad at me on Twitter this week for something completely unrelated to anything I want to do in a video, but they're leaving snarky comments on YouTube referring to it. And so I want everybody to kind of know what it is, so that if you see this weird, why don't you take your own advice? Or the person's really salty, really, really, really salty. So I want to kind of explain what happened. There was a story about a freshman member of Congress who had to, U.S. Congress, who had to apologize for perpetuating anti-Semitic stereotypes about Jewish money controlling the American levers of power. This is an ongoing problem. She zeroed in on AIPAC, look up AIPAC if you want to. People feel very strongly about it. I am not here to debate AIPAC right now. I am not here to debate Israel's policies. I believe that it is very possible. I am critical of a lot of the current government of Israel's policies. Don't get me started. You guys saw me do a story on, feminism in Israel and anti-government action in Israel, which is why I thought it was so strange that this particular person really got up in my grill. And when I asked for some evidence, said I was taking it too personally. That is what happened. If you see someone being salty in the comments, that's what happened. And I said, how about some evidence? And they linked me to things that I did not find persuasive. Nothing personal there. But then a couple days later, they got up on me for something else. And I joked. I said, you're going to blame AIPAC for this one too. And they got really mad at me. So it was a joke. Honestly, you can see my face now. It was a joke. I was just having a go at you because you were being way too hardcore about the whole thing. I just wanted to have a conversation. I didn't want everything to be all ragey. You wouldn't back off. So I responded with humor. And that's all it was. It was just a joke. It was not a conspiracy against you. It was not an attempt to do anything but make light of an awkward, uncomfortable situation. Because yes, I do stuff on Jewish holidays here all the time. I don't hide my religious affiliation, even though I have like a Ganesh in the background and I got to keep moving that. I don't feel good about that. Ganesh is not for, but that there's a long story behind that thing. But I like Ganesh. I think Ganesh is cool. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there. I just wanted to explain that because they are coming at me in the comments. I've seen a few. I'm not going to call them out because I'm hoping they will just stop. I'm hoping they will find their sense of humor again and just, holy shit, get over it. But so if you guys see some of these oddly hostile exchanges, that's what's going on there. I don't want to get into too many details. I just want to make it very clear. It was just a joke. On my point of view, it was just a joke. 2 rules with me, right? Expect jokes and expect me to back up what you say. If you come at me with an assertion, I have to be persuaded. Because I feel like the onus is on me. If I'm trying to persuade, I have to be persuasive. A lot of the times I just present information because I don't want anyone to feel like I expect them to believe one thing or agree with me all the time. Quite the opposite. I really don't. I don't want 100% agreement. That's boring. Something's wrong there. I just want people to be respectful. And, the line, the opposite of what my basketball coach used to tell me, play the man, not the ball. Women's basketball, we were told to play the man, not the ball. That's the great thing about sport. But play the ball, not the man, please. Keep on the issue. Don't go after the person. So debate the concept. debate the merits of the concept. Don't go telling people they're stupid or they're this and they're that. Like, don't attack someone's identity. We can do better than that. We can't complain about people doing it to us if we do it to other people. And one thing I feel very strongly about is people take too much shit just for identifying as a gamer. So again, I'll leave that there. I just wanted to explain what was going on. I was pleasantly surprised by the responses to the video I did on Wednesday, which I almost scrapped. I was going to do something on some other. It's been a very dramatic week, and I'm kind of glad I pre-recorded because I was really pissed off about a few things a couple days ago, and I kind of calmed down, and it was something I'm still not sure I want to wade in on. I'll stop being vague about it. You guys saw what happened with Russ Pitts and The Escapist, and I made a brief comment on Twitter. I'm trying to figure out if that's just where I want to leave it, whether I don't want to say more about it. There is ongoing litigation there. I'm not the litigant. But I did submit an affidavit of facts. I am a fact witness in that case. And so I'm kind of thinking, maybe I should just leave that alone and let things work out. And when all the dust is settled, then I'll talk about it. But I almost made a video. About it because I was like, oh, come on so many levels. But the conversation, sometimes it's good to make a video that's sort of evergreen and not a hot take. And I was reading up because I'm a big nerd and I like to learn about specs and technology and stuff like that. It's why Rich Masucci and I get along. But I was reading about, the rumors about the PS5 and, what the future of Nintendo is and all this stuff. And then I started remembering all those stories from a few years ago that this is going to be the last console cycle. And okay, there might be one more, but after that's it. And I don't see that. I do not see consoles going away. What I see, perhaps the Xbox brand and the Windows brand will sort of fold into each other. So the Xbox, instead of having its own software architecture, will just be a standardized, basically Windows 10 or whatever they're calling it at that point, box. Maybe they'll sort of do away with the Xbox face, but there will still be something affordable that plugs into your computer and only runs games and maybe Netflix, Hulu, Amazon. It's going to have to handle all these streaming services now somehow. So consoles will evolve. Consoles will not go away. The same way radio evolved into internet radio and satellite radio. It's still radio. The same way television evolved into on-demand and streaming. Those are still television programs. If you watch it on your TV, if they are made for you to watch in your home, that is television. Okay? It is still the delivery mechanism because, it used to be over the air. Like it used to just be antenna, like the rabbit ears on the top of the set. And then we got cable, and then we got satellite. It's still television. The delivery mechanism doesn't really change the nature of the program other than, the cliffhangers in cable. Oh my God. But we're in the glory days of premium cable and everybody's talking about, oh my God, TV's dead. No, it's not. It's changing. It's evolving, but it's not dead. But you may notice that journalists love to say things are dead. And I cannot stand that. And a lot of people, I can't even single out particular comments for highlight on the comments there. There are a lot of really good ones, people speaking very technically and with a lot of business savvy about the various reasons that this push to mobile has happened. Now, some of the things I saw, I'm like, okay, that's a good point, but I'm not sure that the difficulty in standardizing for consoles is the issue because Android is the dominant operating system right now, and the fragmentation of versions of Android is so bad across the various Android phones that I don't think standardization is the reason for the push to mobile. I think what it is they are looking at the potential install base because everybody already owns a phone. And that, I think, is a misstep. I think that's one of those things where if you've got people making these business decisions who are thinking here, they're looking at data and thinking it instead of gut and heart the way a gamer does. I think this is where they're going wrong because they look at the number of people who already own phones and they're like, this is a huge audience. They look at even, the 94 million PlayStation 4s out there right now. That is dwarfed by the number of cell phones. That is true. The difference being that somebody who owns a PlayStation 4 or somebody who owns one of the, up to 34 million Nintendo Switches now, even the 40 million Xbox Ones that are out there right now, they are buying those systems to play games. People are not buying a cell phone to play games. And I am a huge gamer. I hate having games on my phone. And I don't think I'm alone in this. Do I even have any games on my phone now? I might have one because my phone is a business tool. And I don't want the temptation of constantly, I'll read on my phone. I have the Amazon app. So not Amazon. Yeah, Amazon. The Amazon Fire app or something, the ebook app. Anyway, I have it. So I'll read. Cause then it doesn't disappear if I don't have an internet connection. But I'll read news or I'll catch up on news or information, or I'll read an article that I've got saved or, a history thing. Cause I love history. I do not want to play games on my phone. Games are my reward. It's either the thing I do to make myself exercise because doing the stuff for my knee is still damn ass painful and I need games to distract me, or it's my reward at the end of the day when I get all the stuff I need to do. I use it as a motivation device and a motivation technique. And if I always have it on my phone, it's always there. It's not a reward anymore. I actually have an iPad for the casual games that isn't on a mobile plan. So it's only on Wi-Fi. And that's where I play my shitty, I bought Super Mario Run, didn't finish it. I finished all the levels, but I didn't go through and 100% it. I don't know. It just Mario without a controller didn't feel like Mario to me. It was interesting. It was a really good learning experience. I have those Homescapes and Gardenscapes and Pet Rescue Saga and all that stuff on my iPad. I have the occasional game that I put on there that's a bit deeper, but that's the experience I play on my iPad when I'm trying to go to sleep. It stops me from turn off brain because I'm focusing on the match 3. It's like a meditation point. That's the experience I want in mobile gaming. I don't want a AAA experience on my iPad. I don't. I want a AAA experience on my 4K freaking TV that I bought. I don't have 4K cable. I'm using it for sweet gaming graphics because even the 1080 stuff looks better on that. I edit in 4K, all that stuff, but I don't have 4K cable. I didn't get 4K for TV. I got 4K for gaming. And, I'm not going to give up that, even though I love my retro games and I don't need top of the line graphics. Sometimes it's really good to have those top of the line graphics. I enjoy that. I enjoy the big experience, the big screen, the big sound, the leaning back on the couch with Momo here and Delilah here and Scout somewhere and Lagarto over there and, stewing in my own juices, gaming like this or with the keyboard. I even bought a wireless keyboard so I can kick back and play on my couch. Wireless keyboard and mouse. That's the whole point. That's that experience. We learned with TV when we started seeing this shift to people streaming television on through their devices, through apps, that they are completely separate audiences. The people who want to watch TV on their TV and the people who are okay watching Netflix and stuff like that on their computers or their mobile devices, they are not the same audience. And you cannot get them to move. I don't know why the people making games at Bethesda and Activision Blizzard didn't get that memo. The content producers, linear content producers made that mistake like 5-10 years ago, trying to force people into one or the other. HBO tried to drag people kicking and screaming to their traditional television offering. They eventually gave in and got the, HBO Go app, and so people can watch the way they want. You cannot force people to consume media in a way that's not comfortable for them because it's entertainment. So, that was cool. It was a really good discussion. Like, I'm just adding to it with that. I love those things where it's just conversation and people are offering, and it's really worth going through and giving it a read because, I'm always glad the comment sections are good, even when new people come in and they're all mad at me. And a lot of people discover me because they're angry at me for something. And, a few of them stick around and they give me a chance, and then they slowly become fans. That's just the nature of YouTube. People don't hate click. People hate click something way quicker than, have something confirm their opinion. I don't know why people watch regularly to have their opinion confirmed, but they'll sample because they're really mad. But that's just the way she goes. So for new people who came here, hello, you'll understand how things go, or you'll leave. But have a great weekend, guys. Remember, Saturday, London, we will be there. Check out if you want to become a patron because you want to see the backers only episode of Lady Bits, help support this channel, become a monthly patron, patreon.com/LeannaK, and let me know about those daytime streams. Will you watch Twitch? Because I am not doing YouTube anymore. Will you watch Twitch during the day? Let me know. Thanks for watching.